we're going to be going over Penn State's big matches coming this Sunday, and there's a lot of them. Now, we're going to the Missouri match, and this, of course, has maybe the biggest match of the year. Then we might as well start with that one, and that is O'Toole against Haynes.
There's a rhyme and a reason for every one of these. Okay. I'd like to think.
Going to 41, as we move up to 57, I noticed Shapiro's still number 2. Quite frankly, you asked a lot of very knowledgeable people. They still have Shapiro picked to probably be the champion at this weight.
But in a dual meet, when I match them up, I think it's 5-5. It just depends on who's going to get more bonuses between the two.
Kevin, it's a lot of fun. And Zach and I are taking off here in a day or so for Florida to do the Campbell wrestling matches. We're going to stream them and call them. All right, Kev. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm good. I'm anxious to do this. We're going to be going over Penn State's big matches coming this Sunday, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
First of all, I got to ask you a couple things just on the that was fun interviewing Coach Roby, Tony Roby from Virginia Tech, wasn't it?
Such a great guy, you know. These people we're meeting, we're fortunate enough to meet, are such good people in the wrestling community. And
I got to ask you about something. This was absolutely hilarious to me. The thing is it was supposed to be at, I forget, 1 o'clock or something. And at the last minute, it gets changed to 1:45, okay?
Yeah.
So you're actually the first 8 minutes, you're walking with your phone in hand. And, I mean, you got a little kid. You got
my kid in one hand.
All kinds of stuff is going on. And Zach said when he watched it, it's like it kind of takes attention off of the coach as we're talking, because you have these still screens and people just sitting there. And then yours, of course, you're still in your car, the whole 9 yards. Okay,
right.
Zach does his overlay, and he takes a picture of you already sitting there. Kevin, I was on the floor because you're sitting there like it see it. You think, dude, is this guy alive? Because he has not moved for 8 minutes, but actually it's an overlay, you know? And
right.
I thought that was hilarious.
That had to have been awesome. I was wondering what he was going to do, because it was like all of a sudden there was a shot of me in my car. I got a seatbelt on, and then I'm walking with Liam, and then I'm like, this is a nightmare. I'm
You know, the thing is, we had a big weekend. We interviewed Christian Piles, then we interviewed Angelo Ferrari, and I tell you that the whole interview things, that's a little talent in itself, or a little craft in itself. That
it's tough. Yeah, me too. I feel very awkward at times. You know, I'll be asking a question, but it doesn't come out right, and it's hard too when you have multiple people asking, because you can't really get on a roll. You know, but we did the best we could, and I'm glad we got to interview him, because what a great guy.
Well, live and learn. Here we go, Kevin. I'm starting off Penn State. Their big 3 matches coming this Sunday at the Collegiate Duels. I think that's what it's called. I think their first match is against Binghamton. And you would say, well, I don't see any real good matches there. And as we're going along here, I want to question you a little bit about some of your rankings, or just get your input a little bit about your rankings. We don't have any huge matchups against Binghamton. It's almost at the point Penn State's reached the level, dude, that if it's not like a top 5, top 7 guy, I don't even hardly get excited anymore.
No, I mean, seriously though, it's ridiculous. You know, the thing that bummed me out about the Wyoming duel was there was 2 really good matchups we could have had, 197 and 125, and we got neither of them.
Yeah, and I really want to see Volk against Liliendahl, but Liliendahl. Anyway, we do have Casella, who at 74, that goes up against Haynes. Casella's ranked, I think Flo's got him 12th or 13th. You have him ranked at 11.
Yep.
So, I mean, Casella's got his hands full there. But
Casella's tough. I mean, he's he's definitely, I mean, Levi Haynes should win no problem whatsoever, you know, but Casella,
don't forget, we're going to be getting to the big biggie cut here real soon, and that is, you know, you better not be looking forward ahead to that O'Toole match, or a guy like Casella could give you fits. And so that's that. I'm going to really fly over the Binghamton. Starachi's got an Ebert who Flo's got a 29th rank. Actually, you don't have Ebert ranked.
Yeah, I did, but he just got he was ranked real low, and then he got upset by an unranked guy this past week, and that was enough to knock him right off the 33.
Okay. Probably if it's not the Casella Haynes match, you'd say the Kirk Levitt Corey Day match could be the biggie. Flo's got it at 18. You got Corey Day at 17. No, that's not really that big. And then finally, at 125, you have Carson Wagner at 32. Flo doesn't have him ranked, but now we're getting into, because we're still learning Lillendahl.
Right.
Is he? So that'll be a nice little warm upper for.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's not too bad. He just pinned Robbie Segaris, who was ranked in everybody's brackets. He pinned him in 48 seconds. He also had a tight 8-5 loss to Caleb Smith. So he's not that bad. I mean, you lose 8-5 to Caleb Smith. It's, you know, that's a tough match for him. So, I mean, you know, I expect there to be no problem whatsoever for Lillendahl, but it's not I don't see a tech or anything like that coming, you know, maybe a major. It's so sad when we're talking about this, like, you know, I think this could be a tight one. It could be a major.
Yeah. You know, you have to be chomping at the bit. Before we move to Little Rock, I want to jump over to the 125, your rankings at 125. You know, Greg Diakomihalis is sitting at 9-0.
Yeah.
And I think maybe you're like, a lot of times a father is coaching the son and they turn out they're a little harder on their son than everybody else. You got your fathers out there that, you know, they give this. My son's the shortstop. Yeah, well, he can't throw it the whole way to first base. Maybe he shouldn't be shortstop. I'm just saying.
Right.
Just saying.
Right.
But, you know, then you have the other side, the other coaches. I was more this way. I was actually harder on my boys, or I like to think that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe you're a little hard with Greg Diakomihalis, Yanni's brother, little brother, sitting at 9-0. You have him at 8.
Yeah. I think, you know, and it's funny because I think that we actually, whenever I do these rankings, I never look at any other rankings because I don't want to be influenced whatsoever by it. So I do ours after the fact. Absolutely. I'll glance just to see where. And I think I actually have him ranked higher than the other outlets. But to be honest with you, if Greg is healthy, Greg has one of the fastest duck unders, fastest high Cs you'll ever see. The problem with him has been that he looks like he weighs about $115 soaking wet. He's very short.
Still?
Very short, yes.
Oh, gee.
So he it's tough. If there was still a 118, look out, you know, but he's just not. He graduated his senior year of high school. He's a 5-time state champ. He was a 112 pounder his senior year.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping he's much closer. I'm telling you, I think that's a name that sticks out that's going to shock people. You got to be chomping at the bit, just waiting for him to hit some of these big dogs to see how it shakes out. But I want to bring that up to begin with.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking for any Cornell, anything. It's been like our season hasn't started. And fortunately, December 22nd, that's when Coach Gray said that they're going to be full strength on December 22nd. I know on some podcasts they're talking about how they didn't think Foca and Ramirez would be there, but actually they will be there because the rule is they can go after the semester ends, and the semester ends prior to December 22nd. So they will be in that duel.
Okay. Folks, here's the Little Rock, which I'm pretty sure Penn State wrestles next. This is just loaded with ranked matchups, okay? And some of them aren't as attractive. You know, you have like at 25, you got the Reed Nelson against Lillendahl. Okay, we think Lillendahl is going to take charge there, but second match out. This is a biggie. It's Bailey, who's Flo's got him third. Kevin, you have him third. That might change. Didn't he just take a loss?
He's only had one loss, and that was to Lucas Bird at the All-Star Classic.
I think I'm right. I think he took a loss.
He lost again?
I think he took a loss just the other night.
Did he really?
I think he did. Now,
let me see.
We're going to learn about Davis and how
You're right.
Davis shakes out.
What? Yeah. You're absolutely right. How did I miss that? He lost. He got majored by Chattanooga.
My jaw was dropped, and I was thinking, what's going on over there? Is he? What the heck is going on over there?
Am I in the Twilight Zone or something? Is this really happening?
I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe he was thinking about a girlfriend or something. You know, his head's off here, and somebody comes with a hammer and bang! And once that momentum gets going, you know what I'm talking about there. We've seen it.
12-3. This is a guy that lost. He lost to Nick Bouzakis 12-7. He lost to Ethan Oakley from North Carolina 4-1. Those are his two losses.
Yeah.
But whoa.
Yeah. Next, okay, that's still going to tell us a lot because in a way, how do you pronounce his first name? Nasir Bailey may be on a mission now. He may be all mad, but Davis, I'm really liking Davis, what I'm seeing, but this is going to be a great indicator for all wrestling, but especially for us Penn State fans. Where is our weakest weight? That's what we call Davis, our weakest weight. I'm sorry, Braden, I really am, because you're not weak. You're like the big
12,
fan. But
anyway, here's the thing about that match, Wayne, is it's tough for Davis. I know you probably saw this at his first match. He had a hard time getting out from bottom, right? Because he's young and he's moving up a weight class. Nasir Bailey on top, he'll kill you. He has this tilt. He has his hand all taped up and he does this tilt, right? And when he wrestled Frost last year, Evan Frost at this meet, and he tech-falled him in the first period off of tilts. So if I'm Davis, I am the down is lava. You skid out. Do not choose down.
Well, we just got word to him. Hopefully somebody up there at Penn State College watches this. Good point.
Yeah.
I remember I had him on my fantasy team last year, and I remember falling in love with his tilt because he was racking me up points. Anyway, we go next. Van Ness has a 27th ranked Jordan Williams. Now, Flo's got him ranked 17th, but I don't see that as a biggie. Same with this next one. Kazak's got Matt Bianchi. You have him 21. Flo's got him at 25. Messenbrink's got Abdon. You got him at 24.
Well, there's a thing, too, is Matt Bianchi isn't too bad, but the thing with Matt Bianchi at 57 is he's really hard to bonus. He's someone that's hard to bonus. I think Shapiro wrestled him a couple times last year, beat him like 6-1, 6-2. And it might be his brother, Joseph Bianchi, at 165. They're not sure which one they're putting out. They're putting out Abdom or they're putting out Bianchi. But that is going to be a joke, 65. That's just, as far as I'm concerned, every match for Messenbrink is pretty much a tech fall at 65. But 57, it might be a non-bonus match, possibly.
Yeah. Haynes has a 30th ranked Brennan, although you don't have Brennan ranked. Now, okay, we got Del Signor. You have him 13th. Flo's got him 10th. That's who Starachi has. Okay, he's got his hands full, don't he?
Del Signor does, Del Signor is going to, he's going to get pounded on.
How to say his name, Del Signor. Okay, now the second biggie as far as this Little Rock, besides Davis and Bailey, is, of course, Stephen Little against Barr. And what is Steve? You got Stephen Little 8, Flo's got him at 5. And I think I like where you got him better than Flo does here. I think he's probably around 8. But this is going to tell us a lot about Barr. And
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this Stephen Little, I mean, how fun. Have you ever seen an all-star, like, have you ever seen a match that's 2-1 that was as exciting as the all-star match with Bronnagel and Stephen Little? They were just rolling around like crazy, and Barr better finish his shots on this guy because he is very difficult to finish shots on, and it's going to be a really good test for him. I like Barr in this, but I think it's going to be an entertaining match for sure.
Okay, I get accused jumping around too much, and I know that's true. I do jump around. So, with that, keeping that in mind, I'm going to move right into the Missouri match. Afterwards, I have a couple things I'd like to point out on the rankings, including the fact that we got them up. Everything's a go.
Yes.
Really, we really are now a big go with your rankings. We call them our rankings. You'll listen to if we got something, but really,
absolutely,
in all seriousness, Kevin, I like them so much. I've just kind of just have a complete trust. I
appreciate that.
Now we're going to the Missouri match, and this, of course, has maybe the biggest match of the year. Then we might as well start with that one, and that is O'Toole against Haynes.
Yeah.
Now, here's my initial thoughts. If anybody could turn it around and win by like 6 points or something, it would be O'Toole. He's that good.
Yeah.
Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. I'll tell you why. Of course, you can't gauge it against a freestyle match. That was freestyle. This is folk style. Dude, I'm telling you, basic takedowns were going on in that match. And
thank you.
Haynes, he overpowered. He literally overpowered O'Toole. O'Toole didn't get close to taking Levi down. Levi won at 6-0. I anticipate that it's going to be close. Obviously, it's going to be close, but I think it's going to look a lot like that. And although if you're going to lose to O'Toole, this would be the time to do it. But I have to say, I don't see how it's going to happen.
This is kind of my thoughts about this, and I'm going to kind of go a little all over here. But remember when Facundo beat Levi at the Olympic trials, right? He beat him like 6-0, took him down twice. Yes. In my mind, Levi could not have cared less about that. He was wrestling 74 kilograms. He just got done with a really crazy college season. He didn't plan on winning and getting to the Olympics. He just really wasn't there mentally, right? So I looked at that match and I threw it away. Now, looking at the 79 kilogram World Team Trials, I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, all right, O'Toole beat Carr. He handled Carr, right? He almost teched Carr at the beginning. Yeah. Carr beat Levi pretty good, and Levi beat O'Toole pretty good. Now, I'm not saying that the match didn't matter to O'Toole, but it was on the backside, and I'm thinking it's hard for me to just go full in on that, just like it was for Levi when he lost to Facundo. With that being said, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed that Levi, he's going up 2 weights, and I was worried. And you know what? He was every bit as strong and as big as O'Toole. Yes. I thought.
Actually, more so.
Yeah.
And all year so far, everything I've seen so far up at 74, he looks like one of the stronger 74-pounders. But
absolutely,
excellent point, and that is duly noted. And of course, O'Toole is O'Toole. So beating O'Toole twice, I don't care if you're Carr or Haynes or who you are, it's going to be tough. But
it's going to be amazing. And I'll tell you what else about Toole is you'll be hard pressed to find someone that is able to fix his mistakes and adapt like he is, whether it's Askren helping him out or his coaches. If you remember when he wrestled David Carr the first couple times, he got handled pretty good. Like the one time he got pinned in overtime, but it was a lot closer the one time he got pinned than the first time he wrestled him. And then he was able to turn it around. He almost majored him at the NCAA finals. He's very good at adapting. And I think he was surprised at Levi's strength, first of all. That one takedown, I think he was surprised. But this is going to be fireworks, and I'm really glad to know that both these guys are absolutely wrestling this match, because O'Toole took off the duel beforehand, so he was rested for this. And Levi's going, so fireworks.
Okay, I'm going to go next biggest match in this Penn State Missouri match, in my opinion. Now, I'm hearing little rumors that Rocky Elam may be medical redshirting. I don't know. But that, of course, would be the big one. Our freshman stud Josh Barr against Rocky Elam. However, with that said, if that so-called rumor is true, which actually, we might as well discuss the entire rumor. Not only is he going to medical redshirt, but daggone Iowa's got their claws out trying to snag him for next year. Daggone. But I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know. But
that's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't hear that, but I heard that he was coming back this year, but I also heard that he probably isn't going to be ready by the All-Star. And the other little interesting tidbit on this is that Sinclair only has one more match left in his freebies.
That's what I was going to bring up. If it doesn't beat Elam, then obviously I'm almost as intrigued with his Sinclair Barr match. However, Sinclair's got 2 losses. And, I know this is regular. This is normal for a freshman this high in weights to go out and take some losses. It's a rare thing to see. You'll see a freshman run off an undefeated streak down low a lot faster than you will when they're up high.
Absolutely.
But in all seriousness, Sinclair was like one of the biggest coming out of high school for a while. Am I overstating that?
No, he absolutely was. And I think the one thing you got to take with a grain of salt is Ben Askren, it's even said today, says that he is a 184 pounder. He's only doing this because they have to fill the spot. But you could also say that Barr was a 184 pounder. Granted, he had a little bit more time.
The trouble came in. It was lot. It was a size thing. I was starting to wonder. A lot of times the old deer in the headlights. I just got to college, big.
Yeah.
I mean, you say, well, what are you talking about, Wayne? Well, that could happen to me and you, full-grown adults. We pick up our whole world and go. All of a sudden, we're living at a new place, new people, new environment. I mean, sometimes it takes people a little time to adjust, but it sounds like the size thing probably is the biggest factor here. But either way, if he's got one left, I want that one to be against Barr. How about if it is true about Elam and he is medical redshirting, maybe we'll see the shirt pulled for Sinclair. I don't know. But really, that's the second biggest match, most intriguing match. All the others, we got ranked matches up and down. The Flo's got Colton Hawks at 8. You have him at 12, but he's up against Starachi. It could be a good match. Don't get me wrong. It could be a good match, but go ahead.
I will tell you this. Gage Walker at 125, he lost to Eddie Ventresca 6-5 in the duel recently. And he was really impressive. He was impressing everybody, but we all thought that Noah Certain's coming back and that's going to be it. But Noah Certain retired, so Gage Walker's shirt is pulled. And he started out with a couple losses. He's a true freshman. He lost to Steve O'Poland 7-1. He lost to a Cal Poly guy 4-1. But then he's won 6 of his last 7 matches. His only loss was to Ventresca 6-5. So watch out for him. I'm not saying that he's going to beat Lillidahl, but I'm saying that it could be a good match. We'll kind of see how good Gage Walker is.
At 18, Flo doesn't have him ranked yet, and it sounds to me that they're maybe run a little behind. We're talking about a ranked wrestler here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he's 5-3, but he's looking the eyeball test, he's looking very good. Very good. And he's getting better and better. I mean, you go from losing 7-1 to Steve O'Pullen, and then 1 month later, you're losing 6-5 to Ventresca. He's picking it up quickly.
Okay, to the Penn State crowd out there, I'll just run through the other ranked matches with this Missouri. Davis has a 32 ranked Cade Moore. Actually, Kevin doesn't have him ranked. Flo's got him at 32. Bartlett has 19th ranked Josh Edmond. Okay. Van Ness. Now, Flo's got Logan Geoffrey ranked 13th. You don't have him ranked.
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why they have him ranked. He lost 20. Okay. He lost 20-7 to Webster, right? He lost 9-0 to Henson. Those are good people to lose to. But then he got majored by Chance Lamar, and then he just beat the WrestleStat's 150th ranked guy. WrestleStat, he beat him 2-1. I'm not impressed with this guy at all, Geoffrey. I'm not. I just don't. I don't think he's. I don't know.
No, I like you standing up for what you're seeing and what the results are saying, and so I think Van Ness will roll over that. Kazak's got another guy that you don't have ranked, James Conway. Flo's got him ranked 26th. Messenbrink has 18th ranked Cameron Steed. And then, like I said, I mentioned the Colton Hawks, the 12th ranked Colton Hawks against Starachi. And then the Seth Nitzel is ranked 21st. He's up against Kirk Levitt. So at least every match is this particular duel. We're not talking about a Virginia Tech against Oklahoma State and that's on tomorrow night. And that's fire. It is fire. I mean,
it's going to be awesome.
That's one of them duels that could just turn out lopsided, but every match is close.
Yeah.
Or it's one of them duels that, like, it could shock everyone because Virginia Tech is winning them close ones. And I tell you, that's the kind of stuff that we are wrestling fans for. Am I right?
Absolutely. And I really hope that I'm hearing kind of some rumblings that McGonigal and there was one other person, I can't remember who, might not wrestle, but I really hope it's not true. I know we haven't seen McGonigal for about a month now, but there was one other person for Virginia Tech. I hope it's not the case, though. I hope they bring their whole thing. And Coach should have told us if that was the case, right? When we had him on, we were picking.
Well, here's the thing, and I want to give a shout out to Wrestle Madness's Pick'ems contest. And thank you, Wrestle Madness.
Yes.
Just for being awesome dudes and all that. But these Pick'em contests that they're putting out are just fun. And you can do it for free, folks. Go to WrestleMadness.com or go to BEG's Facebook page. We got links all over the place. Just remember, there's 2 separate contests. We have Wrestle Madness. I think he calls it Madness OG. That's Wrestle Madness's contest. And then we have BEG's contest. So you might play twice. Doesn't cost you anything, and it's a lot of fun. But now remember, if you end up playing that and say you pick McGonigal, okay, and he doesn't go, whoever they send out, that's your pick then. So kind of keep that in mind on it's a little risky because I don't think we're going to find out, are we?
No. And especially when you're putting, is it going to be a decision, a major, a tech fall too? That's something else you got to keep in mind as well.
No, wait, we will find out, won't we? After weigh-ins?
Yeah, we'll have, you'll have, if you do the Wrestle Madness, my best advice would be to put a mental note and to check it right before the duel starts to make any last-minute adjustments, because these guys are really good at making the adjustments. They were at CKLV. They did a beautiful job.
Yes.
Beautiful job.
I got just a couple things I'd like to point out as we're flying through the rankings, and we already touched on one at 125, so I'm going to go right to 133. However, folks, you say, where are they? Let me tell you where they're at. They're at BEWrestling.com. And that's where we keep our rankings, and we're going to start to talk about them a whole lot more because we worked out some bugs in the website, and it just took us a little while. We're just starting. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Kev.
Yeah. Did you say BE Wrestling or BEG?
Oh, BEG. Maybe I didn't say it clearly.
Okay.
And,
BEG. It probably skipped out. I'll be honest with you. You know, I know we've had some inconsistencies because this is a whole new thing we were learning, but we've been talking and now we feel comfortable and to the point where these are reliable. We know what we're doing. We have the access to everything, and we're actually going to be listing ours Monday instead of Tuesday morning. So ours are going to be out before Flow and Intermats, okay, because we want to get them out there. We want to be the first one to look at them. And plus, we don't want to be accused of looking at theirs and doing anything. We want to be the first ones out there. So they will be up to date. They're up to date now, and they'll continue to be up to date every Monday evening.
Well, I commend you. Have you ever done rankings before?
No, this was my first time going, and I picked a year to do it.
And you took a challenge. You made it 33 deep, so it's completely on who you think is going to nationals. So you definitely have a challenge there. But I must say, I'm not proclaiming I'm any expert, but I like what I see. Obviously, you know what you're saying there. Even when I make a little, like we go to 133, for example. Mm-hmm. The only thing that kind of sticks out a little bit is McGonigal from Virginia Tech. You got him at 15. He's only 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
Yeah.
Like you could easily explain to me why he's at 15.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Him probably moving up before this year's out.
Absolutely. I had him as high as I think 5. He hasn't wrestled in a month, and he doesn't have the resume where like Teamer and Shapiro have to continue to stay up that high for the Enduros. But you got to remember, like I said, this guy had an overtime loss to Crookham last year when he was with Lehigh, and that decided a whole lot of things, a whole domino of things that went down. That's how good he is. This year, he did lose. He lost to Tyler Wells, who also is a good wrestler. I have Tyler Wells ranked 13th, though, you know, so that's why I got McGonigal where he is, because I got Tyler Wells where he is. And then just to kind of give you a kind of an idea of how I go about doing this, and then Tyler Wells, he lost to Dominic Storano, who you see in there at number 11. So you see, that's kind of how I have these ranked, you know, and Serrano, I've tapped out at 11 because I just don't see him currently above the rest. But I go through every one of these 330 names plus, and I go through each of their individual matches, who beat who. Once in a while, you do have an A beat B, B beat C, C beat A, and you got to kind of go off more. But there's a rhyme and a reason for every one of these. Okay. I'd like to think.
Going to 41. The one thing that kind of sticks out is this Van Bar from Minnesota. Vance Van Bar. He's 11-0. You got him ranked 6th. And I'm going to be just straight up and honest right now.
I hope I do it.
I don't think I've ever even seen him wrestle. I'm embarrassed to say that. I'm going to see him, but he must be the real deal. We're going to find out if he's there with the big dogs. And does he have any big wins so far this year?
He's got a win over Josh Edmond this year, and he's had a win over Julian Tagg, which actually turns out to be a better win than you would think, because Tagg just beat Cale Happel at CKLV. So that's a big win. And the thing about him is it's not as if he came out of nowhere per se, because he did have he had close losses last year at NCAAs. And I think that, I think.
Move on here, Kevin. I'm moving up to 49.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to ask, I got a bunch of questions, but first off, somebody doesn't wrestle, how do you treat that in your rankings? Say Now, there's no report of injury. Well, I'm just going to come out and say who I'm referring to. Ty Whalen at 149. You have him at 6th rank. We all know how good he is. We've seen him he beat Parko. He beat Waters. There was another stud.
Webster. Yep.
Dude, we all wanted to see that match between him and Parko when Iowa and Princeton wrestled.
Absolutely.
It didn't happen. But did he at number 6? And I'm not saying he shouldn't be at number 6. That sounds about right. He's 9-0 so far. I'm thinking he sits behind Waters, who's 5. One of the reasons he didn't go out against the Iowa match. What's going on? No, I'm sorry. I'm talking too much. First off,
no.
My question, does a guy get punished? Does an AJ Ferrari, somebody that's not showing up to wrestle, is that affected in your rankings?
Yeah, and I think a lot of these I've actually talked to you guys about, because it's the one thing that I'm really I'm not fully confident in yet, where I'm kind of like Ferrari, for example. We moved him down behind Cardenas because Cardenas went and did the thing at CKLV. He went there, he won it. Ferrari didn't go in, so, that's just what's fair. With something like this, Ty Whalen does have 9 matches under his belt, right? So it's not as if he's 2-0. However, if he would have won out and beat Parko, then he would have moved himself up to 4, But if he continues to stay hurt, I like to think that we give everyone, if it's a legit injury, about 3 weeks where they're able to sit there. That's the time limit I'm giving Meyer and Teamer as well. If it's not 3 weeks, then we got to start boom, 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 boom.
Yep. As we move up to 57, I notice Shapiro's still number 2. Quite frankly, you ask a lot of very knowledgeable people, they still have Shapiro picked to probably be the champion at this weight. However, I got to ask you, is there any word whatsoever about, is this serious? Is this possible long-term? Is this possible medical red shirt? Or have you heard anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I was honestly hoping, and he's my favorite wrestler to watch, as many people know. I was hoping that I wouldn't see him again for this year. I was hoping that I would not see him wrestle one time this year. And that's not going to be the case. He is coming back. He will be back for the NC State dual meet against Ed Scott. He wrestled Ed Scott last year, beat him 7-2. But he's going to be back. And one thing we have to keep our eyes out on is these concussions. The more frequent you get them, or the more you get one, and all of a sudden your chances of getting another one is much sooner, and the gap seems to be closing. If he gets another head injury, I really hope that they just don't send him back in. But yeah, the 22nd of December, he will be back for the NC State duel.
Wow. I'm happy, and I'm where you're at on that.
Yeah.
I'm concerned. I just want the dude healed up. He's too good at this sport for concussions to knock him out completely. I mean, so I'm all with you 100% safer than sorry. But
it's tough. It's tough, Wayne, because remember we were talking about Coach yesterday, Coach Ravi, about Bryce Andonian, and Meyer Shapiro's in that same boat where the things that make him want to pull your hair out and are just so dangerous are the things that make him so great. And you cannot remove that part of his wrestling and expect him to still be the level he is. And I've gotten a couple of people that have been like, you really should be dropping him. And I'm like, well, just so you guys realize this, number 6, Tommy Askey, Shapiro has teched him 2 times. Antrot Taylor, he teched him 3 times in folk style in a row, 10-0. So that's the level you're dealing with. I think people forget how good he is. So he's got that same, span I'm giving Teamer as far as coming back.
Okay, I'm moving up to 165. And the only thing I want to kind of point out is we've seen him around for a couple of years. This Andrew Sparks you have at 11, ranked number 11. He is 11-1.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, I don't know if you have it there who'd he lose to is my first question.
Yeah,
And
who
does he
did?
have any big wins? And
Yeah, absolutely. Let's check it out. Andrew Sparks. Yep. Hold on one second. So he is 11-1, and he did have. He's been. You're right. He has been around a long time. Without a doubt, he's a senior guy. But last year he was only 13-10. This year he lost to Will Miller, who you'll see is ranked 10th, right in front of him. Right. Will
State.
Miller's tough from App
Yep.
State. That was his second match of the year, though. November 9th. He lost by 1 point. Since then, he's rattled off 10 in a row. He's beaten Drake Rhodes, who we have ranked 12th, right behind him. He's beaten, let's see, Matt Church, Virginia Tech's freshman starter, beat him 9-3. Beat Clayton Ulrey, who I believe we have ranked 26. So he's a guy he's solid. He's very dependable, very reliable, and that's why I have him where I do. But I wouldn't be surprised if he could All-American. He could sneak up in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just I'm with you. I kind of expect to see him move up that the whole daggone Minnesota team.
That's what I was just going to say, Wayne. You're asking a lot of questions about Minnesota. I think you're digging them, aren't you?
And Penn State don't wrestle them. And next time I'm going to blast a little bit about the schedule. Penn State. It's okay.
Did you see our duel?
Another time, but
I'm sorry. Did you see the new dual rankings we have out? Minnesota's ranked. I got them at 5th, I believe.
I can understand why. I can absolutely understand why. At 74, there's really nothing that sticks out to me. I mean, Warlock, we're going to see a lot tomorrow night. Warlock against Hamidi. And that is going to be, Kevin, I'm kind of with you. I went into this thinking, okay, Hamidi, with David Teller's help, we're going to see an absolute level jump.
Yep.
Hamidi's Hamidi. He's awesome. However, I see more a level jump out of guys like Hendrickson, and I'm not sure. We're going to learn a lot tomorrow night, is all I'll say.
Yeah, I agree with you 110% there. Hamidi was destroying everybody up until he got to face Lorenzo. And then even his last match against Gavin Sachs, who is tough, he got ridden out the whole third period by Gavin Sachs. That kind of surprised me. And Hamidi's a dog for sure, but he is, when you watch Lomax, he is so frustrating to wrestle. He does these the leg passes, and he was doing it to O'Toole over and over and over. And O'Toole is good enough where he ended up majoring him at the end, but the match was a lot closer than expected. Yeah.
I remember that match. O'Toole just barely came back to win that. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And that's going to be just a lot of fun. And again, folks, BEWrestling.com is where you'll find these rankings. We're at 184 right now. And the thing I want to talk about here, I love everything, where you have them and all that stuff. The thing I want to bring up and ask your thoughts on is this Soldier Salute that's coming up. And whoa, at 184, listen to these possible semis. Let's say Ferrari against Bennett Berge is one, and then Gabe Arnold against Max McAnally. Did I say his last name?
McAnally, yep. McAnally.
Minnesota's stud, who's 10-0. We're going to learn a ton. Whether Tom ends up, say both Arnold and Ferrari make it to the finals, we don't know whether they'll wrestle that match. We hope they do. It'll kind of end up like Ayala and Spencer Lee, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to believe the Soldier Salute will do their part to keep Ferrari on one side and Gabe Arnold on another. So that's the semifinals that I anticipate, and that's coming up real soon. So we've got some big matches. That's going to be a fun weight class watching that unfold, because all four of them guys I can't say enough about. All four
Yeah,
of them I'm impressed with. So
they're all American caliber for sure. And I'll tell you what, Angelo Ferrari is going to be one of the greats when said and done, I think. I think that when I watched him wrestle Bachman, I was so impressed. The kid comes out in Carver, right? First time. And he handled that like a pro. And I like his demeanor. He's quiet and he's, like a lot of quiet guys I feel are smarter, and I just think he's a smart kid and he's dangerous. And I can't wait to see him consistently wrestle. I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay. Going into 197 here. The thing I got to say about that is I notice you don't mess around. You're not doing this to make Wayne. You know what? I'm going to make Wayne feel good here. No, you don't do that. I know you don't. You don't do that, do you?
No.
Don't do that.
No.
Okay. You got Josh Barr at 4 because of the eyeball test. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Not only that, but I could argue that he has the best win. Buchanan has a win over Munoz, right? Who we have ranked 10th. Barr has a major over number 9 Beard. When you look above Serber, everyone's undefeated. So, I think that Barr has the best win. And I'll tell you what about Barr. Tell me if you've noticed this. And this usually translates to being very successful. The third period, he just pummels people. When he wrestled Cochran, it was 0-0 entering the third period, and he majored him. When he was wrestling Beard, he was just boom, boom, boom in that third period.
He said something in the Bash interview that just it hit me like it just went right through me. He says, I cared more about wrestling let me term this right. I care less about wrestling right now than I did when I first showed up because I realize my worth in other areas. In other words, the philosophy that's going on there, and that's spreading. That's not just at State College anymore. Is you want to be your best at this. No, I don't care what it is. Probably that shouldn't be your top priority. That sounds weird, but
no, you're right.
To really be your best here, you have to reach a deeper self within yourself that really is not even involved in that sport, and ultimately it elevates you. I won't get into that too much, but that was quite telling to me about the whole thing. They always talk about, what's the secret up there at State College? Well, just the whole thought process. And
no, you're right. I love hearing that. That's really interesting, Wayne. And I do like hearing that because everybody wants to know what the secret sauce is. And it's not like something particular they do. It's the culture that they have there. And it's not like these guys are faking it. It's not like they're robotic and they're all repeating the same thing. They truly believe in it. And I think that has to do with also how they recruit guys. It's not like they take a guy who is not like this at all. They bring him into Penn State and all of a sudden they brainwash him into being this, guy who has a really good faith and believes that wrestling is not everything. And no, they recruit these type of people as well. And they all gel together so well.
Think about your own life. If I'm doing well at, I don't know. Let me see if I can think of some examples. If I'm doing well at my job and I'm doing well I play softball on the sides, and you get where these two things, I'm starting to realize my worth at both of these things. Well, the thing I might care about most, which might be, I don't know, whatever, podcasting, that's elevated too because I'm already getting a bit of a confidence boost by a whole bunch of other areas. And that's kind of how I read into that, is he's realizing his worth in other areas. And ultimately what it's doing is benefiting them. This we can't call short at this point. This is almost like an episode. Let me hurry up and go to
no, it's all good.
I will just say between Cardenas, Buchanan, Ferrari, Barr. I mean, this is fascinating how this may play out.
You
now,
absolutely.
We've seen for Cardenas. Go ahead. Tell us what we've seen.
His stats. We got a guy that's 8-0, right? He has 100% bonus. He's outscored his opponents 121-5. He's given up 5 escapes. Even in his pins, his pin in the final CKLV, he was up 8-0 before he had the pin. His only match his only match that went the distance was a 12-0 win. So he's just killing it. And looking at him, he's got 100% bonus. Then you have Josh Barr, who has 100% bonus, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm looking at Buchanan, and he's got an 85% bonus. His only non-bonus was his Trey Munoz match. That's his only non-bonus. So when he won 9-5. So, and then you got Ferrari, which who knows? He could come back and start. We don't know. It's a mystery. But yes. And then you got Salazar up there, who's 7-0. Stephen Little. It's a great weight class.
Okay, I'm going to 285, and I will say, it's kind of like watching Starachi win 4-2, but it really wasn't close. Well, yeah. You could say that with Stevenson, is nothing really seems close. So the real mystery here is, did anyone close the gap? And can they get some momentum going where a possible upset victory would be? Of course, we immediately think about a Hendrickson. We'll see about Kirk Levitt. But I guess the one thing, Bastida, did you hear Bastida?
Yeah, I did post that. He is done. He's done. Dresser said, well, he's going to be at least out till January. He could take a med shirt. When you're looking at this weight, Wayne, there's 9 of the top 12 guys are seniors.
Yeah.
Bastida's coming back next year. He's going to medical redshirt this year. He'll come back. He'll be the preseason number 1 with Feldman and Keeter a little bit behind him. So yeah, I think he's done. It will be very soon that we take him right out of the rankings.
Okay. Kev, this has been fun. I guess
absolutely.
We're going to end this. We could sit and talk for 3
all day.
Okay.
All day.
I will mention this in closing. Yes, me and Zach had an episode that proclaimed Oklahoma State as the second ranked team. Now, individually with the national championship, how it's like, I understand why all the other places have Iowa ranked second. And actually they have Iowa with a decent lead over Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
You can see something happening out there at Oklahoma State, and we're gonna look a little foolish, or we're gonna look like geniuses here. But I mean, I still think I'm going with the David Taylor factor. I mean, and we're gonna find out. Is all I can say. I think both of them are very, very close. We already showed that we think Oklahoma State wins the duel, but that's different from.
That's a lot different. Yeah, because when you're looking at these two schools, Wayne, here's the thing: is Iowa has Buchanan and Teamer and Caliendo, who most likely are going to be in the NCAA finals, right? They have a bunch of other guys that are teetering there, but those 3 are strong favorites. When you're looking at Oklahoma State, I can't really pick out one guy that I would say, he's going to be an NCAA finalist. I can't. I mean, there's a bunch of 3s. You got Hamidi, Plott, Hendrickson, Jameson's teetering around there. I mean, they might have more All-Americans than Iowa for sure. I think they will, but are they going to get those 23-20 points in for the finals? But in a dual meet, when I match them up, I think it's 5-5. It just depends on who's going to get more bonuses between the two.
Kevin, this was a lot of fun. And Zach and I are taking off here in a day or so for Florida to do the Campbell wrestling matches. We're going to stream them and call them. Campbell against North Dakota State, Campbell against Wisconsin, Campbell against for Pete's sake, now I forget the third one.
Who is it? Yes, West Virginia.
That's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Good for you guys too. That's awesome.
You know, it's one thing is you live and learn, and it'll be the first time we ever call. And the only thing I like our game plan is we're not even going to try to be like someone else. So we really can't mess up. That's kind of how we look at it. We're just going to sit down as if we're sitting down watching a match together, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So you guys make sure you catch us. That'll be on BEG. That's Saturday all day. But don't forget our rankings now. Kevin's rankings, BEG's rankings, BEGWrestling.com. And Kevin?
Yeah, thank you so much, Wayne. This was a good time. We'll have to do it again soon. And you guys do your thing down there. Be you. That's what's got us here so far.
All right, dude.
All right.
Later.